What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about some of the mistakes that I made today and the mistakes that I see myself make quite often in the upside grinding market that we saw today. This is something that I am going to be fully open with you. I think it will be something that you can relate to. I'm sure you've made this similar mistake, and I want you to know that I still make this mistake as well. The upside grinding day, a day like we saw today is April 23rd, is probably one of the biggest kryptonites to my trading. The upside grinding day that doesn't really have any kind of reversals, doesn't have any major pullbacks, just sort of keeps grinding and grinding and grinding, is a very difficult day for me typically. And there's one thing that I always do in this type of grinding market that I really regret, and something I wanted to talk about with you guys today. The only way to fix something that we consistently find ourselves doing in trading incorrectly is to be open about it. It's to share about it. It's to understand and go over what we're doing. And I hope that today's video serves a purpose for not only you to educate from what I did wrong, but hopefully serves a purpose for me to remember this video, to remember these mistakes, to stop doing it, and to avoid these losses that I've taken today. So today, we're going to go in detail into exactly what I did wrong, because I know exactly what I did wrong. And this is very important, right? We have to know what we did wrong to lose on a trading day. We have to make sure we go back and understand, okay, this is what you did. This is what you shouldn't have done. This is something we need to improve on in the future. And I hope that this video is something you enjoy. Yeah, and that's about it. So let's jump right into it. This is going to be an interesting one. I hope you guys enjoy this one. It's something that I would truly avoid when you see a market like this, how we can spot that grinding market. Enjoy it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's jump into the charts. All right, guys, so here is the QQQ. Today, you can see is right here. This is today's trading action, and you can see pretty much the all day we have just grinded higher without any type of pullback, volatility. It's pretty much just been an algorithmic push to the upside on the market. Now, when you look at it like this, of course, you're just saying, hey, let's buy calls. It's all great. It's going higher. It's going higher. There's some reasons as to why I struggle with that. And this has to do with the levels that we're pushing into, right? So on QQQ, you can see that we started the day and we got above the previous day high, right? And so this right here, the first thing is that possibly, right, the right thing to be thinking about in this situation, which I could have done better today, was if we're above the previous day high, let's be careful on the short side, right? That's maybe rule number one, right? Are we above previous day high? If that answer is yes, let's be careful of shorting back into it. Now, this is something I am definitely aware of, and I didn't short anywhere near this previous day high, so I am happy that I didn't do that, right? So I knew, hey, QQQ is above previous day high. Let's make sure we're not trying to short right back into that level, because that can now become a support level. And that is exactly what we did, right? This morning, we held above that previous day high, and we pushed to the upside. Now, as the QQQ is trending higher, we were getting very close to a very important level, or we were getting into a very important level here at $425 per share. This is a previous low, a previous high, a rejection pretty close to that on Friday. And you can see today, we had a very clear stall at that level, right? We started to see some stall at a 425 supply level. Now, when I see that type of stall, right, I start to get interested in the reversal trade, right? Because I've seen that plenty of times in the market where you'll push to the upside into an important supply level and you'll reverse, right? Push to the upside into a rejection point and reverse. We've seen that quite often in the current market, right? So naturally, we're going to be looking to see it if that happens again, right? As a trader, we're going to see, hey, we're pushing into that Wednesday low. We're pushing into that level that we rejected on Thursday. Look at the QQQ at that 425. Let's go ahead and see if we can play a reversal trade here, right? Logically, it makes a lot of sense. However, this is what the problem is in this situation, or at least this is the problem that occurred today, right? I can't say for sure that this is going to happen all the time, but I can explain to you why it didn't work today. So if we zoom into this today's price action, right, we can see this. And then let's go ahead and turn on the after hours just so we can signify exactly where the market open was. So we can see this was today, right? We got our pop, pretty much grind to the upside pretty much all morning, right into that 425 area, right? So in the morning, I'm watching the trend, right? And so you can see from the trend of the day, the lows, and then up towards the 425 level, this was the trend that we were on pretty much all day. And so the second thing that I want to make sure and make it very clear here is we never want to take a supply rejection trade if the market is still holding that morning uptrend, right? So you can see here on the QQQ, we had a very intense morning uptrend. We pushed off the morning open, we pulled back, held that low. We pushed higher, pulled back, held that channel low. Pushed higher, pulled back, held that channel low as we were pushing higher into that 425 level, which was the level that I was looking to short. Now, this is where things went wrong for me when trying to short this level. So you can see 425, 425, and it most definitely was a rejection point for majority of the afternoon. However, something we can spot here is that there was never any type of really clear very clear confirmation that this was going to continue lower, right? We got little blips off that level. We got little rejections off our supply, but we never got any type of true breakdown under a key previous level, right? And so let me explain this. I know this might get a little confusing, but this is what I'm going to talk about right here. We can see here on this QQQ, if we mark out this chart, this green level right here is the 100 SMA, and that 100 SMA was a previous high of day. So right here, we can mark this out. Let's go ahead and put a green level here. And that green level, let me go ahead and now zoom in to let's go down to let's stay on the 5-minute chart. We could say in this situation, before we want to go ahead and look to short an uptrend, short a grinding uptrend move, we want to rule one, and I'll pop them up on the screen. Rule one, we want to at least break this uptrend, right? That's rule number one. We cannot look to short a supply level on an intraday grinding upside move until the morning trend has broken, right? And so in today's trading day, that rule did trigger, right? Right here at 11 o'clock is where I took my last QQQ put play. We did have a break of trend, right? So that rule number one would have triggered, and that would have caused me, right, to potentially enter a put position, right? We had this, you guys can see right here, grinding upside move, trending upside move, which double topped at our 425, and it broke that trend move higher. Now, this is why this did not work, right? And we can see that there was this previous high on the QQQ at this 423 level. And when we pulled back and we broke that trend, we never broke below that level, right? And so this was simply just a pullback to that previous high. This was just a break and retest long opportunity because we did not break below that previous high of day, right? We saw some struggle come here right here around that 423. We got above it. We pushed into that supply, right? We pushed into that short level that I was looking at, the 425. We did break the uptrend move, but what did we not do, right? We did not break below that previous high. That previous high simply just turned into a support for the rest of the day. And this is where I got faked out, and this is something that I need to work on in the future. If I'm going to short a upside grinding move, I need to see a break of trend, and I need to see a clear lower high get formed on the market, right? This would have been the short entry. We would have gotten a failure here, a break above that level, right? A break back below, and then a failure once again at that previous high. This was the short entry to look for, not just right off the supply level, right? And this goes back to waiting for better confirmation, right? This goes back to waiting for a little bit more information before taking that position. Because what I did today was I took puts right here. I took puts on the QQQ because we broke the uptrend, right? That was my reasoning. We broke the uptrend, we hit that supply level, and I went ahead and I took QQQ puts right there, looking for that downside continuation. But what didn't happen was I did not get a break back below that previous low. I did not get a break and hold below that level to confirm that weakness was entering the market. Now, I want to show you this example really quick on the SPY, because the SPY was a major reason as well why the QQQ held where it did. So if we go to the SPY today, right, and we zoom out, we can see right here, we had this previous double top high at $504 per share. This was Thursday of last week's highs, and this was a rejection point on Wednesday of last week. So $504 was a previous rejection point from last week. Very important. Now, what we can see here today, if we zoom into today's price action, when I took that QQQ put, right, which was around 11 o'clock, which was right here, we had a similar type of move, right? We had a SPY uptrend that was broken. So you can see right here, SPY uptrend that broke, right? We had that SPY uptrend. You can see right here, trending move higher, very nice grinding move higher, which was broken right there at 11 o'clock, right? On this big red candle. This was the same thing we just talked about right here, right? On the QQQ. 11 o'clock, push down lower, break of uptrend, and that is why I got into my QQQ puts. But look at the level that held, right? We had a previous 504 level, which we talked about, right? That 504 level, that was that previous week high. Look at how even on that trend break today, which we did, right? We broke that trend. Even on that trend breaking move, we pulled back and we held that previous high of day, and we held that 504 level, turning it into support. So what was the proper short entry today, right? I needed to wait for a break of trend, but not only that, I needed to wait for a break of trend, and I needed to wait for that 504 level to turn back into a rejection, right? I needed to see this previous high here turn back into a rejection on a breakdown, and then I would have had confirmation that we are failing back under that 504. We're failing back under that 504, and we broke that uptrend. It's noticing these levels and making sure we have confirmation that's going to save us from trying to short supply levels, or whether it's long or short, right? It goes both ways. Trying to short into these rejection points that we have on our charts, sure, right? A rejection is great, and we know that that is a possible move to the downside. But do we have that full confirmation before we enter? Today, I got in prematurely, right? I got in off the basis of just this level rejecting and that trend starting to change. But what I didn't wait for was a break below that previous high, a break below that 100 SMA on the QQQ, and a break below that 504 level on the SPY, which you can see, if we go back to the hourly chart, was a very important previous high. If I zoom in, right here, 504, which we are still holding, was a previous high and previous high, which we held above today beautifully. So I needed to wait for a confirmation underneath that level at 504 to truly know that the sellers have taken control of this move. So if there's one thing that we need to take away from this video, it's that there's two rules that we need to have before we short into that upside move on the market, right? Before we start looking for that supply rejection on the day, we need some rules and some things to clarify, to confirm before we take that entry. And number one, it's always going to be to wait for the trend to break, right? And at least I waited enough time to see a trend break today, right? I waited for that trend to break. We had that trend moving higher, and I didn't short. I had a one little entry before this, but my main short entry was not until this trend broke, which it did break at 11 o'clock. But what did it not do? It did not create a lower high. It did not prove to me that it was going to continue the weakness. It did not prove to me that that 504 on the SPY or this 423 level was going to turn into a rejection. And that is why I lost on this trade. And that is something that I will very closely monitor and continue to focus on before I take these supply rejection trades in that morning grind, right? Today, we pretty much just started that morning grind right out of the open. We popped and we continued. If I see this again on the market, right, sort of this pop and continuation, we need to make sure we are strict and very concise before we try to short the market in this upside move. You can see pretty much the entire day, there has been no aggressive pullbacks. Every time trying to short it has failed, right? And the reason for this is because we have continued to hold above that 504. We've continued to hold above that QQQ100 SMA. There was never a sign of a lower high being built. There was never that true reversal move. And if you try to front run those a little bit too much, you can find yourself stuck in some of these grinding upside moves. So I tried my best here today to explain exactly what I did wrong. I hope that it comes across decently well. I hope you can understand the two rules that I really want to focus on. And I hope that seeing what I did wrong today, and maybe it's something that you have done before, can help you sort of clarify what to look for in the future. So if you enjoyed today's video, press that like button. If you guys have any questions about what I talked about in today's video, I'll be more than happy to answer some questions down in the comments below. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Tesla earnings in about 10 minutes. Should be interesting. Make sure to come to the pre-market live stream tomorrow morning where we'll review what happened in the afternight session. Press that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.